What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update regularly, hit the like button now. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, this one's been kind of floating around for 2 or 3 weeks at this time even, but there is a limited edition Traxxas TRX4M Snap-on tool truck available. Now, like always, these are Snap-on exclusive. These aren't available at your local dealer, things like that. You have to get them from a Snap-on truck or wherever you can buy Snap-on tools. I don't know. I'm not really at that level most of the time. But this thing, I mean, the unique Snap-on vehicles that Traxxas has done are cool. I think that, and I like this version of the TRX4M. And they didn't just throw a body on top of it. They actually they made an extended chassis for this thing, like a lot. It is very extended at that. And then they slapped the Snap-on tool truck on top of it. I don't know, it's just kind of cool. I like to see, it's cool to see Traxxas have this like relationship with Snap-on where they do these unique vehicles. They did the sprint car back a couple of years ago, which was wildly cool. I have one of those still to this day. It's actually a lot of fun to drive, and I still can't believe that they haven't done anything else on that platform outside of the Snap-on livery or, version of it. Wildly cool. This one, obviously much simpler rather than a whole new platform. They've put the Snap-on tool truck body on like an X-Max in the past as well. But outside of the actual, that sprint car that they did, which I thought was awesome, this, I don't know why, I think that this one just seems so much cooler than normal. So if you are a Snap-on person or a Snap-on person, you want to try and get a hold of one of these, might be worth trying to hit up a friend, call in a favor, do whatever you can to get your hands on one. Next, we've got a new tease from Capo. We don't talk about Capo often because they don't make that many new releases, but we see maybe like one a year from them. And it looks like the next one we're going to see is going to be at the end of December 22nd. And it's going to be a original style G-Wagon. Now their teaser photo, they've got kind of this amber color, and that's kind of, it's calling back specifically to when Mercedes put a full-size G-Wagon into that like the amber epoxy or resin, whatever it is, it's used to like preserve things forever. And that's the look that they're going for with this. Capo, if you're not familiar with, kind of understandable, they make very expensive functional models. They're not meant to be beat on or used that hard. They have a lot of detail and they have a lot of, features and things like that are packed into them to make them work. But you would want to, for example, this thing is using actual tempered glass for the windows. You're not going to tumble that down the hill because the replacement cost of that glass could end up being kind of high. But it usually has functional, multi-speed or, disconnecting transfer cases, multi-speed transmissions, unlocking and locking differentials, all of that type of thing. So you expect to see all of that in here. And then oftentimes like functional interior bits, including, roll up windows, things along those lines. Usually a detailed engine bay. As much as you can imagine, oftentimes you'll see some version of that in their models. So again, we're going to see actual details on this coming up December 22nd, but they alluded to quite a bit in their initial press release. Solid axles, as you can imagine, steel wheels, the things that are kind of calling back to, again, the original version of the G-Wagon, not the more modern style. I like G-Wagons, especially the earlier ones in general, so I think that this could be cool. But even once it is released, Capo doesn't usually put like the price on their website. They usually have a button where it's like, click to inquire, and then they send you an email with the price in there rather than just putting it on the site. Usually a pretty good sign of how things are going to stack up. If I'm guessing on this thing, it's going to be anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. And it's been almost 4 weeks since we've got to talk about a new RC10, but you're in luck. A new one has arrived. This is the new RC10T four-wheel drive kit. So it's the 4-wheel drive version that we saw previously, but with truck arms and body, I guess. Now, not sure if this 4-wheel drive kit has the fixes or upgrades that the RC10 team kit had over the regular 4-wheel drive RC10, or if we should wait for an RC10T 4-wheel drive team kit instead. True RC10 enthusiasts will probably already know the answer, but I do not. But if this isn't the version of the RC10 that you're after, it is worth checking some of the sales that are currently going on, because a lot of these things are for sale for like nearly half off. Just about all of the RC10 Riris, 10s, 10Ts, the 6x6 even, it's like $250. Huge savings. So if you are thinking about one of the many RC10 Riris, then go check out some of those sales. Axial has started shipping the SCX 30s in both the Jeep version and the Bronco version now. The Bronco version had started shipping a few weeks back, but the Jeep versions have just landed and just started shipping to everybody. When these were initially released, which was at the end of September, I believe, we didn't immediately know that it wasn't going to be until December that these things were going to be available and shipping, which was kind of a concerning point to find out after the fact. But they did in fact meet that shipping schedule, so that is good. Anybody who was thinking about ordering one of these things for Christmas, looks like you're going to be able to get them. And if you're holding off because you didn't know if you were going to be able to get it until that time, good news. They are available now in stock, in stores, either local or online, seeing them all over with, fast shipping available. So that's good news. Again, there was a split between the two with the shipments, so we didn't 100% know that was going to happen. There was a short period of time when it said the expected shipping date of the Jeep was going to be January, and that was concerning, but nothing to worry about. They made it, which is great. These are truly impressive little units. I'm not huge on the small scale stuff, but this is definitely one of the best ones that I've had a chance to drive. And, Proline has got the Coyote bodies shipping now, which we've talked about here not too long ago. They also have some of their, aftermarket tire options available also. I think that the SCX 30 market will probably start to see that support that the 24 scale market did. I think that's going to start ramping up. And I think that that's starting to become evident. Even over the last week, I've started to see companies rolling out some of the option parts that go along with them. I saw Mofo RC, who we've talked about in the past with like some of their SCX 24 and 18th scale options. They've got their own axle. They've got all kinds of parts. You could probably build pretty much a full SCX 24 from them, but they had posted up a teaser showing like a new, I think it was a fully brass chassis and battery mount, brass links, the whole thing. So already diving in to replace everything on the vehicle as we would expect. These little SCX 30s, just like anything, can become huge money pits. I saw Flying Tires RC, they had sent in an email as well showing like a SCX 30 specific light kit that they had put together, kind of like a rock light setup. Really just some short LED mount sections that have a harness that plug right into that ESC receiver combo that's on there. It's made for LEDs to plug right in, and people are already taking advantage of that. I think we're just going to start seeing more and more and more of these things popping up here. And I imagine that right after the first of the year, it's going to be a very popular thing to start seeing new option parts for. Thanks again to Zoku RC for sponsoring the Scale News Update. Zoku RC, if you're not familiar with them, they make LCG kits and option parts for a number of different platforms, one of them being the VS410. And rather than just a chassis option that can be added to a platform, it's kind of a full solution. It has every part that you need, including the hardware to swap over a vehicle. And not just being able to bolt everything up, but even like being able to reuse the body with the body mounts that it initially used. It's an engineered solution for everything that you would need to take one truck and turn it into something else. So if you've never done a custom build, or you don't have a huge supply of hardware, you're just not sure exactly where to start, this is just, again, an easy all-in-one solution for one of those things, in addition to other parts and accessories that fit the market. So if you're interested in any of those parts, you can also use code NEWS10 to save yourself 10% off of your order over at Zoku RC. Thanks again to Zoku for supporting this month of the Scale News Update. And I also want to take a second to thank the channel members for helping support the channel a little bit extra. If you're interested in that, you get access to videos like the Scale News Update the night before, as well as additional videos like After News Delight, which is an extension of this show, kind of goes back over some of the stuff, as well as just other topics outside of it and just kind of channel news in general. And there's also some extra behind the scenes videos at the same time. But if you're interested in that, there'll be a link down in the description below with all that information. Thanks to everybody who helps support the channel, and thanks to anybody who watches any of the videos. This Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, live stream takeover. Come join Matt and I for another fun week of somewhat RC related content. Come join the live stream, or of course you can watch after the fact, but it's there for you to watch every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you work for an RC company and like to see any of your products on the Scale News Update, shoot me an email to news@harleydesigns.com. Include a photo in the description, a link to where it'll be found on your site when it's available. Be happy to take a look at it, see if we can get it included here on the Scale News. This week, JConcepts released a handful of new releases. The first one we're going to talk about is this new Outsider body. This is actually for the X-Max. We don't cover X-Max body releases very often, but it's JConcepts, so why not? I don't actually mind the look of this thing. It's got its own weird, unique style to it, but I think overall it just looks kind of good. I like the mix of styles that it's got going overall. X-Maxes are massive and they take a beating. So these bodies aren't cheap. They're under $100, but not by a ton. And now that I've said some nice things about that, now let's talk about this other one that they released. This is the Endgame body, also for an X-Max. I don't know why when I first saw the photos of this, Popemobile is just what popped into my head. Just like the big, the big glass bubble thing. I get what they were going for with the cage look, and bodies in the past have tried to pull this off before with like cage details in Lexan. JConcepts has done it specifically in the past. I remember like they had like a bog hog type body back in the day before there was like an actual licensed one made. And it kind of did that a little bit, but this one just has like taken that a step further, being that it's the whole thing on the top rather than like just a rear section. So it's a lot to look at. Endgame, it's not the weirdest name, but the body in general, I don't know. I don't know how you feel. This one would be interesting to hear how you guys feel about it. They never let us down. And after looking at that, seeing their last body release, which is the JConcepts F1 Grandpa, isn't, you know what? I at first didn't really love the look of this body, but after looking at that other one, it softened me up. In this one, you know what? I think this one looks pretty decent now. The name, now we're back in JConcepts territory here, throwing Grandpa right in the name. But it says F1 as well, so then I'm back being a fan. This one, not for an X-Max. This, a regular 10th scale, 12.3 scale truck aimed body. More in our wheelhouse. Something that we should be talking about. I had to talk about those other ones though. Had to. Doesn't look too bad. They had a version of this that we talked about a while back for the 124 scales, and it did not look nearly as good. It looked like shrunken head style. This one does not suffer as much from that same, like proportion issue. It looks in general okay. Maybe it's just the other ones that have skewed my outlook, but I think it looks all right. Next, new from the brand that loves three-letter names more than anybody, we've got some new accessories from TWS for the CTS VTR. They love a three-letter name. This is like a bug deflector and a rear little on the back of this is like a Suzuki Sidekick or Geo tracker. They all kind of looked this way. TWS, an interesting brand. We've talked about them several times 4 or 5 years ago now, I guess, as the they kind of establish their brand. We don't see much moving from them. We don't see a lot of new products in general. So every once in a while when something does pop up, it's like, oh, interesting. It's just interesting to see that they had made, this new product announcement, new something coming, and it's a Lund bug deflector for the front of the hood. We don't see enough bug deflectors in RC though, so I'm kind of okay. I'm into it. But that's going to do it for this week's news topics. Being that we were in the week of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, things are always crazy. There's not a lot of new releases usually. Lots of sales, things like that going on. Special promotions oftentimes start Black Friday or Monday. Sometimes they start on live streams on Tuesday. So it's no surprise that the news was a little bit lighter than normal. But for this week's question, with all the sales and things like that going, the ones that get me the most are tools. I love tools more than anything. That's what gets me. So for this week's question, I want to ask you guys, what is the next tool you want to add to your toolbox, your workbench, your tool chest, whatever it is? 3D printer, design computer, new hex drivers, big, small, whatever it is, drop it down in the comments below. Interested to hear what you guys are needing most from Santa this year. But that's going to do it for this week's show. As always, I appreciate you all for watching every single Tuesday. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell. Channel memberships available if that's something that interests you. But again, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.